problem I see with coaches is that they have the post and pray syndrome. Coach T, what you mean a post and pray syndrome? Meaning they think they're just going to post, they're going to pray that they're going to get engagement and get clients, and they realize that they're left with the bag empty-handed. Coach, how can you say that? Because I've been the one to do this, where I just thought I was just going to put out content, and I did what all the gurus said. They told me to go out and just post value, post content, and I should get all of these followers. I should get all of this attention. I should get people who are going to be dying and desperate to do business with me. But the problem is, it takes a little bit more than that. It takes a little bit more intention. It takes a little bit more thought. It takes more strategy. It's way more than just putting out content into the world and just thinking that all of these things are going to happen. And if you don't do that, you're going to constantly struggle to build your audience and get exposure for your brand, your business, and live your purpose. So I'm going to give you right now a 4-step process to get your followers up. If you follow this process, you will be at 10K and or more followers. All right. But it's your ability to follow this process that's going to allow you to make it happen consistently. Cool. That is what it's going to really come down to. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and share it. I want y'all to take some good notes. All right. All right. So this is what we're going to do. The very first thing, I want y'all to write this down. The very first thing is, write this down. Relevance builds authority. Relevance builds authority. Write that down. Relevance builds authority. So, Coach T, what do you mean by that? Specifically, relevance builds authority. So, what's interesting is that when we want to give to the world, people are going to follow us for a specific reason. They're going to follow us because we're providing some type of value that they can use. Well, but the value has to be relevant. I run into so many different trainers, coaches, speakers who they say they want to transform the world. They want to change lives. But because they can't decide on a niche, or because they just putting out what's on their heart or what they feel like they should talk about, the content isn't necessarily relevant to any niche audience. So they can't ever build an audience because it's not niche. People want to follow you for a specific reason. So the most growth that I had in this business in terms of my following online is when I specifically said, I want to help people who want to train other people, when I want to help coaches. When I decided I wanted to do that is when my followers shot up, because I started posting content that was relevant to that audience. So my question to you is not, do you know this intellectually? Oh yeah, I've heard that before. My question is, if I looked at your content right now and I assessed you and I brought you on this training, would I clearly, without you even telling me anything, would I clearly be able to see your body of work on Instagram? And I can clearly see, based on the topics that you're talking about, who the audience you're talking to is. If the answer is no, the content that you're creating is not relevant enough. Everybody put that below. Relevance builds authority. When you creating enough content in a specific category, you start to build authority in that category. Does that make sense? So that's really, really key that we do that. So start putting out content that's more relevant. That'll make a world of difference. Okay? So that's the very first thing. All right? So that's number one. All right. Second, now that we know relevance builds authority, next thing we need to focus on is consistency builds. Now, all of these are dealing with building something. Trust. Consistency builds trust. Everybody put that in the chat. Consistency builds trust. Consistency builds trust. So what that looks like now is you really have to be consistent with putting out content. The challenge is, even if you're putting out content that's relevant, if it's not consistent, people will forget about you. You got to remember, the way that these platforms are set up is that people are, the more that you post, the more reach that they'll give you. Reach online is, it'll allow you to see more people. But more importantly than that, people have rhythms in terms of how often they go on these social media platforms. So we're talking about Instagram. So the more you post on Instagram, the more likely the more people are going to see your post within a certain window of time. Does that make sense? So you have some people who they get on Instagram in the morning before they go to work. You got some people who check Instagram during their lunch break. You got some people who check it when they get home, let's say around 5, 6. You got some people who check it at night once the kids are in bed, once the house duties and the chores are done, once dinner is cooked. At night, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, now they're online and they go through their social media. You have some people who are online all day. You got some people on twice a day. You got some people on certain periods throughout the day. So where you want to be seen at is in as many places as possible. So if you can get at a minimum morning, noon, and night, or morning, noon, and evening, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to be seen by more people. Not only more people, but the people who are currently seeing your content, you'll get that repetition. So you have two things working for you. So it's building the trust from the people who keep seeing your content, but it's also building your exposure to new people as well, right? People who are searching for hashtags, et cetera, right? So your goal is to be consistent. That's why consistency is super huge when it comes to building a following. If you're posting once a week and I'm posting once a day, just because I'm posting more often than you, I'm going to get more exposure. All right. Now we rolling, right? Next thing we need to have, and this is key. Entertainment. I don't know why I feel like I spelled that wrong for some strange reason. But entertainment, you get what I mean, builds shareability. Everybody write that down. Entertainment builds shareability. Entertainment builds shareability. So now we're looking at, all right, how do I actually build this shareability? Like, how do I actually, what does this actually look like from a standpoint of getting my content shared? Now, that don't mean you got to be doing TikTok dances and all of that, right? But your goal is to make content that's a little bit more entertaining. We're moving into a space where people just don't want to just sit and just kind of have a bunch of dry training. They got enough people online like that now. Now you want to make it more entertaining, and it's not really dancing, right? It can be anything. Like, look what I'm doing. I'm writing things out. That makes it more entertaining. Showing things, sharing your screen. Maybe you are dancing to some music, but they're also learning. So if you can add an element of entertainment, then that's gonna make people want to share it more. So the last thing you need, engagement builds loyalty. Engagement builds loyalty. Engagement builds loyalty. Everybody put that in the chat. Engagement builds loyalty. This is very key. The reason why that's so important is because you need, a lot of times we get frustrated because we're not getting the engagement that we want. We get frustrated because we're not getting the people who are liking, our stuff, or they're not viewing it. And I get clients like this all the time. And look, It used to be me too. He's been, oh man, I'm not getting a like, so I'm not getting the views, or I'm embarrassed to put this out because I don't, because I don't know if people are gonna like it, or I put this thing out and I didn't get as much engagement on it. I'm telling you this, and I had a conversation with one of my clients earlier today, and I was letting her know. I said, don't, believe it or not, as much as we want to get our engagement and our followers up, don't directly focus on that right now. Focus on what I'm showing you how to do. Focus on engaging with the people that you do have, because when you engage with the people you do have, what that's going to do is they're going to share it. Those are going to be your advocates. Those are going to be the people who are going to like and comment. Those are going to be the people who are going to give you great comments. And because you've been having a great conversation with them, or because you show them love, or you like their comment, what happens is they're inadvertently going to say something that gives you massive credibility at some point.